Welcome to the very first episode of Bold State of Mind. My name is Victoria. I'm a cancer survivor, advocate, and founder of My Bata. This series will be all about real, unfiltered conversations about cancer, life, and everything in between. And before I bring on incredible guests, I wanted to start with my own story. Because before all of this, I was just a 31-year-old woman who heard the words, "You have cancer." So I want to take you back to June 23rd, 2023. It was a rainy day, and I remember it so clearly because I had gone to my cousin's piano recital, and it was pouring outside. So I had to wait in my car before running in to the recital to meet my grandmother. And we had the best time together that day. We watched the recital, caught up afterwards, and spent some family time together. By the time I got home, the rain had stopped, and it was just one of those perfect summer nights. It was warm and peaceful. The sky was turning different color, purple and pink. It was one of those nights that me and my boyfriend and my dog would just go on for a walk around the block, and that's exactly what we did. So that day I was wearing a black romper that I had in my closet for years. I just wore it when I wanted something comfortable and something easy to throw on. So while we're going for the walk, I reached in to tuck it in on my left side, and that's when I felt a lump. For me, that was something that was unusual. I felt what I would say would feel like a little marble under my skin, and initially I brushed it off, but the thought just kept coming back to me that something was unusual. So what I did was at the end of the night when I went to go take a shower, I did a self-exam in the shower and just checked myself all over. And that's when I knew something was wrong. I'm my mom's only child. So the first thing I knew to do in the morning was to call my mom. That is just natural instinct for me, is just to call mom when something isn't right, especially when it's your body. I always would reach out to her to say, hey, this doesn't feel normal. What do you think would be the next steps? Because that's not something that ran in my family and something that caused concern initially. So I just wanted to see what she would tell me. And if you know my mom, she's all about health and taking care of yourself. So she was like, that sounds a little strange. I would just get a referral from your OBGYN and see what she thinks and take it from there. So I have an amazing OBGYN. And the first thing I did was call her right after I called my mom. I was very, very lucky that the same day, the next day, which was a Monday, I was able to go in at lunchtime to have her do a physical exam. When she did the physical exam, she confirmed my thoughts and also felt something there as well. She didn't cause any alarm because she thought, sometimes these things can happen. It can be cyst, it can be benign, but she wanted me to get that checked right away. So she gave me a script to take to my local hospital to get an ultrasound. I was very lucky again to have an appointment the following day, which was Tuesday, to get an ultrasound. That Tuesday, I still wasn't having any concerns, just thought these were the processes that I needed to take if it was a possible cyst, which was kind of the first thing that came to mind for me. But I started to have some concern once the ultrasound had findings. When I was in the ultrasound room, they just kept revising certain areas on both breasts. And so that did start to cause some concern to me. And that same day, they ended up doing a mammogram in both breasts. When they did have findings in both breasts, I started to get nervous, but I still did not think that I had cancer. It wasn't a thought for me at the time. And so this is now Tuesday, and for the following day, Wednesday, I had an appointment to get a biopsy in both breasts. The radiologist told me that I would be getting a call back for my findings, but I shouldn't have concern. I had no family history, and I also was under the age of 40, so my risk wasn't high, that most likely it is cyst, or if it is a tumor, most likely it's benign, meaning it's not cancerous. At this point, I think nobody wanted to scare me with concern. So I did have fear, but I never truly thought at this moment that I had cancer. And that's when I got the call on Friday. So I say that I'm really lucky to have all of these tests be done one day after another. I know talking within the breast community, that is not the same for every hospital, every person, especially under the age of 40 with no family history of cancer. I say it's because of my medical team. I live in New Jersey, so I'm very lucky to be living in the tri-state area where we have a lot of advanced medical teams, devices, and systems that are in play. I'm also a huge advocate for myself when it comes to healthcare and being on top of things when it comes to checking with insurance, trying to call in to make appointments, who I need to talk to. So I feel like that also played a factor, but I do want to state that from Monday being able to see my OBGYN and the same week Friday getting my diagnosis, I know that that is not typical. So Friday, I knew that I possibly would be getting a call from my radiologist to get my results, and I was going for a walk with my dog at the time that I got the call. It was Friday morning, fairly early in the morning, and I typically would take my dog for a walk in the morning. And when I got the call, she was like, "Hey, Victoria, how are you doing? How are things going?" And for me, it just felt like, oh yeah, everything's good. Her voice didn't sound concerning, so it didn't cause concern to me. So I just kept walking with the dog. I told her, yeah, I'm outside. I'm taking the dog for a walk. I truly wish, thinking back on things, that she would have told me to kind of sit down, or if there was a moment that we could talk seriously or in private, because I wish the moment could have gone differently. I wish as a patient I would have gotten that, because I was gauging the conversation of how it went in the beginning, and it's not how it went in the end. It didn't hit my mind to me that I had cancer until I heard the words invasive ductal carcinoma. When I heard the words carcinoma, I didn't hear anything else after this. I think after that, she might have went on into staging. I think she might have went on into triple negative, which I really wasn't 100% sure of at that time. But all I heard was carcinoma. I said, thank you. I'll follow up. I hung up. I grabbed my dog. I run inside. And the first thing I do is call my mom. So I tried to FaceTime my mom. At this point, my boyfriend is working from home the same day too. It's Friday, and he's upstairs and I'm downstairs. I bring the dog in, but I'm running at this point. So I think he hears me kind of going through the motions. I FaceTime my mom, and she can't see me in the camera because I just can't look at her to tell her what's going on. But my mom's like, what's going on? What's going on? Did you hear back? What's happening? I couldn't get the words out. I think to me at that point, it was being able to say I have cancer. And when those words came out, it became real. It became real to me. And just talking about it, it brings emotions up. And we're almost 2 years out from diagnosis, and the emotions are still there, but I started to throw up. The physical, emotional part just hit me. I was in my kitchen throwing up in the kitchen sink. And by this time, my boyfriend runs down and grabs the phone. My mom's like, what's happening? What's going on? And my boyfriend doesn't have to say anything. He's just making sure that I don't pass out, that I'm okay. Everything else just seemed like a blur to me. And the rest of the day, family came over, comfort me, and just surrounded me with community and love. And that's what I needed in that time. But Hearing that I had cancer changed my life forever. The next 6 months of my life were the hardest times of my life. From starting fertility preservation a week later to 5 months of chemo, losing my hair, to a double mastectomy. Some days I felt like I was drowning, but I like to think about the things that kept me going. And for me, that was being surrounded by my people, my family, my mom, my boyfriend, my friends, the breast cancer community. For me, I found beauty in the little things, whether it was music, laughing at funny shows, putting on something to distract me, or being surrounded by my family, like my little brother and little sister who are Gen Z and just come up with these crazy words like skibbity and riz. I don't know any of those things, but it really just made my day. At the end of the day, being surrounded by love and support. And also for me, creating something out of this kind of just helped me get out of the funk. And so creating my bata, which is a post-op surgical gown, for me, which is part of my culture, a bata is a Hispanic nightgown. I knew firsthand how important it was to be comfortable during one of the hardest times of my life. And for me, that was undergoing my double mastectomy and my cancer journey. But I wanted to create something out of this, and finding community, advocating, and building off of that support was something that truly helped me during these hard times. If you are watching this and you're in the middle of your own fight, whether it's cancer or something else, I need you to hear this. You are stronger than you think, and it's okay to be scared. It's okay to break down, but don't stay there. You need to advocate for yourself. Ask all of the questions. Write them down. Ask them all. Ask everybody. Ask whoever you think you need to ask the questions. Your nurses, your doctors. Don't be afraid to ask. Take care of your body, your mind, your spirit. Get rest when you need to rest. It's okay to rest. Find your people, because you do not need to do this alone. There are communities, there is support. If you need it, ask for it, and that is okay. So on this series, I am going to be asking my guests what makes them feel bold. And for me, being bold is not about being fearless. It's about showing up anyway. It's taking something painful and turning it into purpose. It's like saying, I'm still here and I'm going to live authentically no matter what. So what's next? For me, it's more advocacy, more my bata. My goal is to get my bata gowns in nationally to help more people during their healing journey. More conversations like this. I plan to have more conversations with family and friends and asking them what makes them feel bold. And I want to help women feel empowered, seen, and supported. So honestly, this is just the beginning. I hope you enjoyed the first episode of Bold State of Mind. If this conversation resonated with you, please make sure to like, subscribe, and drop a comment below. I'd love to hear your stories, your questions, and your thoughts. This is just the start, and I can't wait to share more with you. Until next time, stay bold.